Hello from OFC 2023. This is the Optica booth. If you are around here today, I do recommend you going to the RUMP session, starting at 7:30 p.m. in room 6F. As data transmission rates now exceed 200 gigabits per second, the use of the all-silicon transmitter is threatened by a range of new materials. So will silicon photonics branch into the equivalent of CMOS and bipolar variants? Can pure silicon photonics maintain commercial dominance? Or will indium phosphide finally take over? This year's RUMP session brings together three competing views and pits them against each other and the audience. That sounds like a winner. And while you're here, let me share some personal thoughts from Monday's Optica Executive Forum. In the first session, the main conclusion was that we must significantly reduce the cost of coherent modules. Even though repeaters may not be needed for the long distances, operators are still worried about their bottom line. The answers may lie with young startups in our Optica corporate network. I'm thinking of Astrape Networks from Eindhoven or Phanofi in Copenhagen. They use patented coherent technology to eliminate expensive digital signal processing and reduce the number of high-precision analog-to-digital converters. I see major business opportunities here. Takeaway number 2. For the last 10 years, people have been saying that bandwidth is increasing each year linearly. But now, with AI and Meta rolling out, the bandwidth demands have gone ballistic. So how do data centers approach this? Well, we saw a fascinating slide from Andreas Bechtolsheim, the co-founder of Arista Networks. His graph shows the current performance of ordinary pluggables using silicon photonics. But look at the real-world measure results when you replace the silicon photonics modulator with thin lithium niobate on insulator. The power consumption drops significantly, everywhere from 25 to 50%. And that applies to organic polymers, barium titanate, or plasmonic metals. However, for how long will this incremental solution solve the exponential bandwidth growth challenge? I admit that co-packaged optics may not be the ideal alternative. Still, I'm concerned that incremental solutions from Arista and Google may only work in the short term. What if the extended reality does take off as Meta is expecting despite new layoffs? Now I know that's not the mainstream view. I'm just saying what I see. Point number 3. In the final session, it was clear that the West does not have a strategy for uncoupling high-end chip production from China. Without that plan, expect things to go wrong very quickly. And one person in the room yesterday commented that it is not enough for TSMC to build new facilities in places like Arizona. You will need to bring over the personnel to work in the clean rooms because the US and Europe don't have that local talent. John, from the excellent Asionometry newsletter, recently did an in-depth analysis of the same problem, and I highly recommend his report. Here is a clip.
Today, American politicians and social elites can't shut up about building fabs for semiconductor independency and finding industry talents to staff those new fabs. But how can America reclaim its title as a world leader in semiconductor manufacturing if Americans actively discourage their peers from joining it? Many of them end up going into chip design, which has a lot in common with software development. It makes sense. Working on the semiconductor manufacturing line may require them to put on a clean suit and head into the factory. Most very smart, highly educated human beings, social elites, would rather work remote from their bedrooms writing code. A few months ago, I read a fascinating article about China's own struggles to hire and keep experienced line technicians for their growing microelectronics industry.
Those are 3 points which caught my attention here at OFC. What have you seen? Share ideas in the comments below, especially if you think Optica should start a conversation. In the meantime, onward!